I was going to say, so I press the start button and then I just hit play. Let's hit play. Johnny boy, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, real good. Actually, yeah, I am really good. Actually, as he
good.
Good. Our intro seems a little bit longer.
No. Same intro.
So it's not the break intro, is it?
No, the break intro.
No, that's why I'm ready to do the drums at the end, and obviously I was a little bit premature.
Yeah, don't get confused with the
man.
Intro and the breaks. Leave all the button pressing to me, young man. How you been, mate? You all good?
Yeah.
Good week?
Really good. Really good. Yeah. Really good week. Busy week, actually. Really busy week. Big fun.
Great. Welcome to the Groove Junction, everyone. Here we are again. It's another week. We're getting very, very close to our 6-month anniversary. That's what I'm calling it now. I'm calling it
6-month anniversary. Are we going out for dinner?
No. But yes, we are getting close to that time. But yeah, great to have you on here. If you're listening for the first time, if you've just found us, where have you been? There's a load of other episodes you can catch up on. Just go to catch up. Go to the catch
Mate,
up.
you got to go and catch up. If you're joining it now and you haven't listened to the other 20 odd episodes, you've got to go and catch up because we've had some amazing guests.
We've had some amazing guests, and tonight's guest is a follow-on from episode 16, back by public demand, and we'll get to him shortly. But before we get there, thanks very much for joining us. It's great to have you on board. We are the Groove Junction, and John, talking about the Groove Junction, do you know what? I know we've been busy. You've been busy. You've had a busy weekend on the mobile DJ front. I've had a very short weekend as well, but very quickly, give me a snapshot of what happened for you this weekend.
Okay, so Friday, 2 school discos back to back. Saturday, 18th birthday party, wicked, loved it, brilliant. And Sunday was a wedding fair.
Love that.
That's my weekend. Very quickly.
Lovely.
What about you? Yours is very short. So
yeah, no, we just had the one. We Silent Disco in incredible places. It was the first one of 2025 of our 2025 UK tour. We were up in Leicester at the National Space Centre.
Who was with?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about DJs?
Yeah. Who else was with you? Yeah.
We had Brad.
Love Brad.
Yes. BFP. We've had Brad on here before.
We have, yeah.
Brad was there, and Archie as well.
I love Archie as well.
Yeah, double session, really good stuff. Nice and fun. Get the wheels moving in the tour for this year. So that was all good.
Looking forward to this year's tour.
Listen, I want to talk about something that's very hot off the press that's landed this week.
Go for it.
It's the Pro Mobile magazine. Oh, you got yours as well. It's the Pro Mobile magazine landed this weekend. The reason I say that, John, just quickly flick to page number 9 of this marvelous glossy magazine. Hello, we are in the magazine.
So sexy.
There we are.
Looks sexy.
This is our first ever time that we've got any advertising out there. And here we are.
And there we go.
And I love it. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah. So the people that are listening to the podcast, we're in a magazine, everyone, and it's just highlighting the podcast that we do, which is really good. Actually, let's talk about the very quickly the Pro Mobile before we get our guest on. So the Pro Mobile magazine dropped, but obviously we talked about this last week. It's the Focus and Retreat that's coming up in March. And part of that Focus and Retreat, obviously the first day they have the awards.
Well, the networking and followed by dinner, followed by awards.
So you've got the awards that happen in the evening, and then on the second day you've got all the seminars. Yeah. But in the magazine itself, they talk about the products, retailers, loads of different nominations. So we've got nominations for the new playback product of the year. So you've got things like the Alpha Theta DJ Groove 6, you've got the Rain Performer, the Newmark Mixstream Pro Go, the Denim DJ Pro Prime Go Plus, and the Loop Mix Tour Pro as well. So there's a few little nominations there. Then you've got the PA product of the year. You've got a number of products there, from LD speakers to the Alpha Theta Wave 8 to the DAB Frigga speakers. You've got a number of speakers in there. Then you've got also nominations for the light products of the year. You've got Chauvet's Gig Bar. You've got Ape Labs Neons in there. You've got the Eliminator Lighting Striker Beam. Yeah, you got loads in there as well to vote on. Then you've got the accessories of the year. Accessories of it. There's so many categories this year.
There is.
You've got the accessories of the year. You've got the retailer of the year. There's plenty of retailers in there as well that you can vote for. And then you've also got the rig under Gear Junkies. So under the Gear Junkies, rig of the year, and you've got DJ Mal Williams. You've got DJ Paul Radmore from Devon. You got Al Tomlinson. You got TJ Hater, i.e. DJ Funky T, who was on here 2 weeks ago. You got David Henderson, and you've also got Stephen Honeyball. So you got great DJs, and it's a case of voting on their rigs and their setups. Some great photographs of their setups there. So go and check that out if you've got the Promo Mob magazine as well. So yeah,
absolutely,
really good stuff. Yeah. Loads to choose from.
Loads to choose from. I'm not going to mention the fact that obviously the other one that's not listed in the magazine obviously is the DJ's DJ of the year.
I told you you're not allowed to mention that. Yes, you won it in 2024.
Yeah, no, but I'm not. I wasn't going to mention it for myself because I can't win it again because I won it last year. You know, I was just going to say, you know,
just be so rude.
It would. I've already put my votes in. I've done my votes. Have you done yours?
I've done mine.
I've done mine as well.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for the DJ's DJ award. Not that I'm going to start drumming up business for myself.
Wink, say no more.
Vote here. Yeah, but it's all good. Yeah. Do you know what? Should we get our guest on?
Yeah. I was just going to say, don't forget that the actual Pro Mobile Focus and Retreat is on Sunday and a Monday.
It is a Sunday and Monday in March, end of March.
There we go.
It last week, so if you didn't pick up on that, go and listen to last week's episode, and you've got the dates in there as well. We'll be there, and a few other people that we know are also going to go there as well. But I'm really keen on trying to wrap up this middle bit because we've got a really good guest. I am looking forward to the second part of this interview massively. We had him on a few weeks back before Christmas, and now we've got him back again.
Yeah, we'll get there a lot quicker if you stop talking.
I'm just trying to build up the tension.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Building it up. So, John, after the break. See ya. We are back from that very, very short break. It only feels like 7 minutes ago that I was talking to you, John.
Yeah, it was a long break. Wasn't really. No, come on, man, let's go. Let's not talk. Let's not talk. I am because I feel that our guest that we've got now, right, when he was on last time, it was like the ending of a soap opera. What is next? What's coming next? So we're on a bit of a cliffhanger. I'm waiting for the next installment.
I would totally
agree. Let's go.
Listen, take your time. Calm down. You've had way too many Jaffa cakes today, haven't you?
Mate. Very quickly. No, I wasn't going to bring it up, Matty. I wasn't going to bring it up because I talk too much.
The guest is waiting, by the way.
I know he is, but he's going to appreciate the wait. Jaffa cake, cherry bakewell. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's a game changer.
It's a game changer, everyone.
Besides, I needed the sugar intake because I need to try and match the energy of our guest.
With that being said, please welcome to our show. He is back by public demand. The main man himself, Mr. DJ 247. Here he is, everybody. There he is. thanks for coming back, my man.
Hey, man, thanks for inviting me back, boy. Before we get started, I want to talk about those Jaffa cakes, my man. Like, man landed the cherry bakewells on us. Oh, is that Sainsbury's, Tesco's? Where am I off to tomorrow? Where am I going? Aldi. Say no more.
49p.
Nah.
Mate, I bought 4 packets.
£2 coin well spent.
You know that. You know.
I'm just gonna say, this is not how I imagined this podcast starting.
Mate, I'm gonna tell you.
Matt, they are cherry bakewell Jaffas, bruv.
Listen,
I'm just imagining. I'm trying to imagine what's. We're talking cake, chocolate, and I'm guessing a cherry. Whoa! Yeah. This is.
We're trying to even explain it to you. I'm telling you.
Just know I'm liddling tomorrow. I'm gonna tag you guys in. I'm liddling tomorrow, bruv.
You're gonna tag us in? All right, I'm just gonna.
Or Aldi, I'm gonna Aldi cherry bakewell. The people that will get it, they might not get it straight away, but they'll get it. They'll get it when the episode's released, don't it?
So game changer.
Does it deserve a bit of a horn? The Jaffa cake bakewell.
Give it to them. Yes, come on. We love the air horn.
There we go. Let's have a bit of air horn. Let's have it. Anyway, 2-4. Thanks for coming back. Now listen, we had so many comments, really good comments, powerful comments about your podcast. And if you are listening to this for the first time and you've not listened to episode 16, I would encourage you to pause this, head back to episode 16, listen to episode 16, and then come back to this one, because it was hard hitting in the sense of your journey and what you'd been through with the events, the financial side of things, the levels of depression. And I don't want to start the pod in any downward way.
No.
I think what was really refreshing about that is the fact that you came out and said what you said.
Yeah.
And I think that touched the nerve of a lot of people. And I think people were really appreciative of your honesty. So firstly, for me and Jon, thank you for being so open and honest about that. People can go and listen to episode 16 again, do it, listen to it. And then we're going to dive straight in now to where we left off. And we left off with you just getting into the wedding scene and how that started. But for me, straight off the bat, the thing that stood out for me on your socials was the 247 pop-up.
Yeah.
So explain to people, firstly, what a pop-up is, and explain to people how that really started for you.
All right. So with the pop-up, when we was doing the festival, I've always been big on like marketing, and the best marketing is doing things that people haven't done or don't do or just doesn't happen. It gets eyeballs on fast. So, and there's always been something that I've wanted to do where I've always been like, DJing, obviously back then, more DJing in clubs and bars. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But DJing in crazy places. That's why when I saw your, DJing in incredible places, the silent disco stuff, straight away I was up on that, because I've always been like, DJing in places where DJs are not really at really makes a DJ stand out. And I'm like, how can I do that? How can I do that? And also market the festival as well. So I come up with, it wasn't called pop-up at the time. I was just like, I bought a table. We got the branding on the table, and we was just DJing out. I got the equipment I needed to be fully mobile, so I could just pop up, where the name obviously come from, pop up anywhere. I don't need no cables. I don't need no power. I just need a space of about 3 by 2 meters, or decent space where I can just set up my stuff. And I need to be able to rock. And when I say rock, I don't want to just play music where I want music where you can't see me, but you can hear me. I need that. Okay. I need that kind of sound where you're like, ooh, whoa, where's that coming from? That's right. So then people are following the sound. And then when they see me, I might be still far away, but they see there's a DJ in the park. Nah, what's going on there?
Random park.
Random park. There's and he's the main thing I used to like is sound quality. The sound has to be throwing. It can't be a little JBL handheld Bluetooth speaker. No. We need a proper sound.
So
at the time,
you need that bass.
We need that. At the time, I was using a speaker. The only battery powered speaker I could find was on Amazon. It was called a QTX. It was a 15-inch PA battery powered. Cheapest chips, wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But when I was starting at the time, I needed something, and that's what I could find. That's what and it did what it needed to. It did what it needed to do to start with. So when we first came up with it, I was like, I need a speaker. I need to be able to take my stuff out, set up with my logo of the festival brand, and just be able to go up to spots and just start playing, and it will create that interest. And I used to have like my roadies with me and whatnot. They'll have the flyers to be like, because everyone will be like, what is that? Like, what is this? And once someone's given a flyer about it, they're reading that whole flyer, because they're seeing something they've never seen before. So therefore, when they get the flyer, instead of just giving someone a flyer, oh, check this out, they're like, I'll get out, whatever, mate. Like, what's this? I'll chuck it off when you can't see me, I'll bin it. But then when they saw that, people was proper, like, reading the flyer. And that's what I wanted to do. I needed to get the attention on this festival. So I had to do, they call it guerrilla, what's it called, that guerrilla marketing? It's when you just go mad, you do crazy stuff to get things out there quick and fast. And that was a little stunt that I pulled on the street, and it worked. It worked really well. Like, it worked. We was doing little tours. I remember we done one day. We did Camden Town, 1 hour in Camden Town, 1 hour in Westfield, 1 hour in Watford Shopping Centre, 1 hour in another place. We was just going. I remember on that day there was these two girls and the guy. They followed us. They was like, "Yeah, we'll come," and they're literally driving behind us. We pop up. They're like, "Yeah, we're partying now." Where we going now? Watford. Someone's like, "Oh no, we can't go."
Groupies.
The girls like, we had groupies. We're groupies because we're starting parties on the street. It was sick. The energy, the vibe, the feedback, everything we got from doing that. I was like, this is dope. And then the festival happened, and then obviously you don't know what happened with the story with the festival. If you don't, go back to episode 16, just like Matt said, and find out about that. But then when that happened, after that happened, I came back. Deep depression state. Mrs. said, we need to get back on it. And one of the things I thought I did enjoy was that pop-up thing. It was unique. It was different. It was the first of its kind. And I didn't want to go back into the club, so I went into the fitness market. I was promoting to Fitness First, Pure Gym, The Gym, David Lloyd, CrossFit Spaces, CrossFit. If anyone doesn't know, they got good money. I don't know if that's going to help anybody, but if you're trying to do anything in the fitness, focus on CrossFit, because everyone else is broke. But anyway, moving on. That's going to help someone. That's going to help someone somewhere do something.
Like
it's going to, because I had to learn that. And when I learned that, I was like, CrossFit all the way, mate. Everyone else can.
Yeah. Did your homework on that one?
I did my homework, and I was like, okay, all right. That's where the Lurpak is. That's where we're not doing margarine. Yeah, we're not doing that. We want the butter. Do you know what I mean? We're not Lurpak. We want Hovis. But and also the reason why I focus on fitness spaces, because when I was going through that depressive state, one of the best things that pulled me out was fitness. Like getting back in the gym, listening to music, working out, like that helped me massively. And anyone who's going through any depression, any type of feeling low, feeling not great about themselves, I would echo this again and again and again, because I know no one can tell me it does not work. The gym can not only help your physical, the mental output you get from a gym, the way you feel after you've left the gym session. A lot of us don't like going to gym. But there's no one that's ever come out of a gym and said, bloody hell, man, that workout, I hate it. No. You never come out negative from a workout. It's hard to actually get it done and do it. But when you come out of it, you feel pumped, you feel energized. The depression used to just, depressed where? Who? What are we talking about? Yeah. I done this today. I pushed whatever today. I done better than I did yesterday. So those things definitely help. So that is going to be a tip for anyone who's going through any dark stage. Definitely, you can look at therapy and all that stuff, but something that you can just do now is get yourself to the gym. Do something. Doesn't matter what. Once you're in there, you won't just sit on your phone. You're going to get on the machine and get involved with what everyone's doing, and it's going to help you. But anyway, when we was doing that stuff, when I was doing that, I remember there was a point, I'm loving the gym, I'm using the music, I'm there DJing, I'm using my own headphones, and I'm like, what if I went to a place called Fight Club. They do drum and bass workouts, so they're working out to like drum and bass and stuff. If you look at Fight Club, spelled with a K, nice brand. And they had a local one near me, and one of my good friends, Patrick Sinclair, he was doing it, and he used to play drum and bass through like 12s, 2 12s, 1 15-inch sub, and go into that class. It was, I was like, yeah, this is much better than the gym. This is a much better thing than the gym. And he had a DJ. He never had a DJ set up, but I knew I had my pop-up. And I was like, what if I bring my pop-up and do it inside your space? Done it in there. It went so well. Done a video, once again, posted it online with that video content, which I bang on it to everyone, because what I preach, what I do, I preach, and what I preach, I do. So with that content, I was able to say, what if I go to my local gym and see if they want this? They said, yep. I was doing 3 sessions at the time. Done one at my local gym, done one at another gym. Then I said, let me just Instagram these guys. Made a brand. It was called Pop-Up, 247 Pop-Up. My name with the branding. Had a page, had all these little videos on there. I just started messaging gyms. And because I knew I was the only one doing it, a lot of them bit me, took me up on the freeness. It didn't take long for a gym to reach out and say, how much do you charge for this? Here we go. Now we're making the money. Do you know what I mean? And then charge what you think is fair, charge what you're happy to go and do that. And yeah, man, Pop-Up, 247 Pop-Up was born from that. But that's when it really, really took off, was in the gyms, man.
So 24, I want to go back. I want to step back a bit with your Pop-Ups. You can't just rock up to a park or Westfield or where just start banging out some tunes. I mean, you must need permissions or licenses, or what do you need to be able to do? I'm not saying that I'm going to go and do it, but what would well, I'm not being funny. I mean, he rang the gym up and they want to pay him to go to the gym. I'm all over that, like baked beans on toast, mate. If they want to pay me to go to the gym, mate, I can do that.
It's a good job that only people can see your headshot in the podcast.
Hey, mate, it's a very wide-angle camera.
Yeah. So what was the permissions like then?
All right, so I learned the hard way, which I love, to be fair.
I love it when you learn the hard way, because you
learn the hard way, because you remember
education to all of our listeners.
100%. So I went out there. There was places I used to go. So at first I was going parks. I never really had an issue until one time I went to a park, Golders Green Park, and I remember. Anyway, I need to cut a long story short because we'll be here all night, guys. But anyway, when I've gone there, rocked up there, and I was like, yeah, this part is nice. Summer's day. This part looks good. I've gone in there and I've set up my little setup, and I'm doing my little thing. Summertime, and I remember I used to always be like, get people on your side. When you pop up at a park, people are like, what the hell's going on here? I'm trying to, what's this? What's going on? So you got to be mindful of the music you play. I used to know I need to get people on side. So the music I'll start to play will be popular songs that I know everybody likes. That way people are like, who's this guy? What's he interrupting my afternoon while I read my book or whatever? And I don't go in too loud, don't go in too heavy. And you start at a moderate level and bring it up ever so slightly, playing popular songs. And you're doing the same thing like you do when you read a room. You're looking at feet tapping, you're looking at things. Okay, these are liking me. These are liking me. Turn it up a bit more, turn it up a bit more, turn up a bit more. Play some more songs. Oh, some people now, one girl's got up. Oh, she's dancing. She's starting to dance with her little mates. Another guy over there is like, yeah, actually, this is sick. He's filming it now. Then I get on the mic and I'm like, all right, guys, I just want to introduce myself. I've been there for about 20 minutes now, 20 minutes, half an hour. Let me introduce myself. Let me say what I'm doing here. And I say, if anyone here wants me to stop, say the word, and I'm out. I'll go to another park. And then from there, I knew exactly what I was doing. It's reverse psychology. Do you know what I mean? People are like, no. You stay, bruv. You're playing tune. This is nice. I've turned my Bluetooth off. Like, I've taken my headphones out. You're playing good. Yeah. I'll work with this. So I'm doing that, and it's working. I can see they've got like a little bandstand over not too far. And there's someone looking. They look like official. They're wearing high vis. They're looking like, what's going on over there? They're on phones, they're on radios, and I'm like, oh, I can see what's going on over there. But carry on. 15 minutes later, old Bill turn up. They're on the grass. They're driving. But now I've got a couple of people going. There's kids in front of me. Gotta love kids. You lot know that. Do you see that video that I put over there about the kids? Kids are the best. When the kids starting to dance, I'm like, when the parents are watching their kids, oh, look at my daughter, look at him, look at her, oh, she's so, oh. Then a little boy comes, oh, look at my son, oh, look at little Craig dancing to that DJ, oh, this is great, this is great. So I've got this few kids dancing, I've got a couple adults scattered around the park dancing. We're having a great time, it's a lovely day. Police have now pulled up, and they're pulling up slowly, and they're looking, and I said, I get the mic, and I'm like, oh, the old Bill here, ooh. And I said, all right, guys, this is probably going to be the start of the end. Do you know what I mean?
This is the end. It's coming.
Yeah, the end is coming, unless you guys want me to stay. And they all went, we want you to stay. I was like, do you not want me to stay? The whole park, yay! I'm like, okay, so I'm going to let you know what's going to happen in a minute. They're going to come and chat to me, and they're going to try and move me on. But if you lot are my friends, I should be okay. Do I have friends in here today? It's usual mic skills. You guys know the silent disco, right? Usual mic skills, right? And now I've got everyone on side. I can hear the whole park is roaring. There's not loads and loads of people there. They're scattered. But when people unify, you hear it. Like, yeah! So I carried on playing. Anyway, I've done a full set now to the point I've done about an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, that's enough now, guys. It's been fun. This is my social media, blah, 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 blah. Start to pack up my stuff and go. Then the old Bill start to make their way to me. They've been sitting in the back of the park. They've been sitting there for about 45 minutes. They ain't done nothing. And then they start to come over to me, but I'm packing away now, so they can't. If they want to move, it's too late. I'm doing my thing. And then the guy comes over to me and he goes, mate, let me tell you something.
That was a sick set.
Love that.
First of all, I love what you're doing in that, because like, he's like, do you know what? We watched you. There was no profanities in your music. You, the kids were loving you. The people were loving you. Like, this actually is really good. Like, it's really good for the community. We was called by the venue. We had to move you on. But when you said what you said in the
yeah,
we wouldn't want a full-blown riot in the park is it. To shut you down.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want a full-blown riot in the park.
This is it.
To shut you down.
Yeah. And he said, like, there's only two of us. And when we heard everyone go, yeah, they said, we ain't got a chance in hell, mate.
Did you ask them to put their lights on for you? No, the blue and red disco lights.
That would have been wicked. Little whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. That would have been sick. But then when the guy came over, he did say, like, we have been called to move you on, but I've just watched what you've been doing. And me and my colleague are like, do you know what? This is really, like, he's managing it very well. Like, he's like, you know where these things can go. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm a community person. I get it. That's why the songs I'm playing were strategic. Everything's done strategically. I'm not just out here winging it. Like, I want people to have a good day. And at the same time, I've got this equipment. So getting people on side always works in my favor. Anyone can take this stuff. Someone can just come grab my laptop and run. And what am I going to do? What, leave half my setup? So anything can happen. So getting people on side always worked well for me anywhere I go. Do you know what I mean? So I was doing that. But anyway, cut long story short again. The police came over. They said to me, we was meant to move you on. We didn't move you on. We love what you're doing. Here's my card. Give me a contact. If you want to come back in there again, do it properly. Give us a shout. We'll get you your papers and everything else that you need. And he's like, mate, as far as I'm concerned, you can pop up anywhere you like, as long as you're doing what you did today. If you're going to do that, like, I will co-sign you off the back. Guy gave me his card, and that was my link into the Metropolitan. Like, I used to call them. I used to call the guy. He used to be like, where are you going? He's telling me, where are you going? I tell him where I'm going. I'm like, yep. Have a look. Okay. And then some places he will tell me, you can go there. And I'm like, oh, where can I? He's like, I can't remember what it was called, but there's certain areas in London where you see buskers, where you see people busking. I can't remember what it's called, but it's something to do with some places are private, some places are public, some places you can do this in parks, some parks are owned in different ways. There's loads of these little stipulations about different parks. And different parks have got different rules. And I used to go to Finsbury Park a lot. Finsbury Park is a split park. Haringey isn't in council. So one is for, one is against. Well, I used to DJ on the Haringey side. The Haringey side was like, they wasn't really that fussed. The Islington side was a bit more, we need to crack down on crime and music.
Antisocial behaviours are no in Islington.
Yeah. So then, like, all of that stuff just gave me a lot of education. And I used to call him, and he just told me the things I could and couldn't do. And if I couldn't, he would try to put a word in for me. And he used to be like, it's so good you have a logo. Like, you're not just a random guy. You've got this big logo that we can see from miles away. So once I passed that to some of my guys in certain areas, they'll be like, look, there's this guy's popping up in the park. I've seen it before. Great guy, positive, and it will work. And I started to realize that works everywhere. One time I went to a beach and I was DJing on a beach in Kent, and I was telling people to pick up their rubbish throughout my mix. Pick up the rubbish, pick up the rubbish, pick up the rubbish. Stop leaving your rubbish. Like, play music. I'll see someone chat rubbish. I'll stop the music. Hey, you! From far, he's pick that up. Pick up that can. Pick up that can. And he'll pick up the can. You in the red shorts, pick up the can. It's like, oh, everyone's looking at him. At the end of that, same thing happened. The guy that run the beach, he came over and said, mate, you come here anytime you want. Like, what you're doing, you made my job easy. So I started learning, man. If you do good things, you'll be a good person. There's a lot you can get away with. And then the police guy taught me a lot of the licensing between where you can go, where you can't go, what works and what doesn't. So that was my education as to where I can pop up and when and all that sort of stuff.
Love that.
Amazing. So that's how it started with the pop-up. I'm just gonna. Yeah. So this happened pre-pandemic.
Yes, this was sort of pre-pandemic times. Yeah.
So just to add that, because on social media now we're seeing a lot of people, and I refer to DJ G Smalls, who are going out and they are in London and they're streaming their sets live. Obviously, people are being able to hear the music. So I'm trying to think, were they doing that before you were doing that? Or do you think you were the one that started the pop-up in that element? I know you weren't streaming it at that point of view.
No, I wasn't streaming, but I would say I was definitely one of the first. This is before AJ and before G Small. So me and G Smalls are good friends. And I remember when he was starting his thing, he was asking me how I was doing my thing. So I just gave him, you guys know me, I don't withhold information. So I'm just like, yeah, G Smalls, like, this is what I did, this is what I had, this is what I bought, this is what I was doing, and this is how I did it.
Nice.
And then he started doing his thing. When he started is like them times I did stop. And I think one time I was on TikTok, and that's when I saw some of AG's stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, there's another guy, AG, and I'm like, G Smalls.
He's got massive now.
AG's blown. He's blown out the waters. He's gone
right out the water.
Yeah, he's blown fully. Like, he's like, there's no one that doesn't know about what he does. Do you know what I mean? And I think what he's doing is fantastic. Like, I think what both of them do is great.
Yeah, agreed.
And I love all of that stuff. And I remember when it was like you're saying, during lockdown, that's when I started doing it in lockdown. That's when I knew I was capitalizing. Every DJ was on at home streaming, doing DJ live sets, and I was like, I can't work without people. Like, I'm very much people. I need the energy that people see from me, is because I can throw it and someone gives it to me back. If you give it me back, and a game of energy tennis starts to amuse, and that's what people see on my Instagram. Yeah. And so then I was like, no, I need to be out. I'm going to use that pop-up thing, and I'm going to go out on the street and DJ. And that's what I started doing. We done something in Hackney Marshes. Oh my days. It was like a festival. When I mean, it no joke. It was, there was so much people. Oh my God. There was a point even I said, no, stop this, because if anything goes, I'm very big on branding. So my brand's huge, and I don't want people to think if anything mad happens here, like a big fight or, some stabbing or something stupid. We're in Hackney. Oh, come on. If you know about East London drillers.
Yeah.
So these things can happen. So then, just as the sun was starting to set, I was like, yeah, guys, it's been great. My battery's dying. My battery wasn't dying, but I'm like, my battery's dying, guys, man. It's been amazing, but we're going to leave. And then about a week later, I get all these messages. People like, bruv, you're in the news. I said, what do you mean? He goes, bruv, I've just seen you on the news, bruv. Then I'm getting another message. Bruv, you're on ITV. Bruv, you're on BBC. Bruv, you're in this. You're in this. I'm like, oh, days, what's going on? But it's not positive. It's negative.
Really?
Yes. So they were saying how DJs are doing illegal festivals during lockdown, and oh, this is so bad. And then they had the community people, oh, there was urine and feces all over where I live, and blah blah blah. And in my mind, I'm like, wow. So it didn't take long for people to then find my Instagram, because but one thing they didn't do is they never put my logo. It wasn't clear it was me, but you could see there was a DJ with a speaker, and people are going crazy in the park, and it was recorded off someone's phone.
Yeah.
And so it was negative. It was a negative spin. I remember I had so much people in in my comments spamming almost, and it was a mixture of people saying you're a legend and other people saying you messed up my area. Why did you do that? Da, 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 da. I can't remember. These little groups, these little community groups, friends of areas, and there was one person in there, all trolls. They had like cats and dogs on their profile, but they was writing essays on all of my posts, writing essays about how bad this is and what happened to them and the emotion. Like they was putting in all these things about how I basically wrecked their lives.
So with the negative stuff, how did you deal with that?
So I put out a public apology. I remember I was sitting there with my missus and one of my... At the time, I'm going to be honest, the way I was getting bombarded online, the positive people were just saying their one thing, but the negatives were coming in gangs, and they were putting big, massive statements on my post. They're atting in Metropolitan, they're atting in the local council, like they're gunning for me. So they want me to finish. And I thought, do you know what? They feel like I've done something, and that's not what I set out to do. So first of all, I'm apologize because that's not what I'm doing. But then I explained what I'm doing and why I'm doing it throughout the things. And I remember there was one of them. He was a proper see you next Tuesday, and he's inside the comments, and he came back and he goes, "You know what, mate? I do this a lot. Like, you see next Tuesday, I'll do it all the time. But he goes, that what you've written there, I didn't see it from that angle. And I'm sorry." And I was like, you're the biggest one going. And he's like, yep, nah, like, and then he said that on a DM and then went into the comments, took away all of his stuff, took away all of his essays and said, this guy's, you know what I mean? This guy's a legend, like, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so I did the apology because of how much third parties that they tagged. And at the time it was lockdown. You wasn't allowed to do what I was doing, like mass gatherings, blah, blah, blah. It was frowned upon and whatever. And basically I wasn't following the rules. But once again, I've come from a place of depression. So I know how important happiness is in dark times. So that's the reason. And I remember I was explaining this to the guy and he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know." I'm like, "I know you didn't know. You just think I'm some maniac playing
random who's just
but that's not what I'm doing. It's a dark time right now. People can't see their mums, nans die. People are dying every single day. You just turn on the news. There's no escape. There needs to be something. And I was like, I'm just gonna do a little bit of sunshine in a few places where I can with what I'm doing. And I'm not gonna say I was the one that started it. I'm not gonna say I was the main man. But one thing I can guarantee you is that I was before the ones that you're seeing now. And I respect and love what both of them are doing.
If I'd done it, I would have done it so that I just finished my set on a Thursday at about 8 o'clock. Do you remember that in the pandemic, Thursdays, 8 o'clock, when everyone used to stand on their doorstep and clap to the NHS?
Yeah.
That's when I would have finished my set. Yeah, thank you.
What, for the applause?
Get your standard ovation. Auntie Sandra's there with the pots and pans.
It's for you, John. Yeah.
Thanks, yeah.
What it is. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. So obviously, the pop-up thing was a success in different ways.
Yeah.
Because it was obviously for your own mental health, it's helping you. In that space. Obviously, going into the gyms, working within the gyms, and putting that pop-up in the gyms is also helping you because it's giving you that stimulant in relation
100.
to you're in the gym. You're pushing out those tunes in there, and then you're obviously doing the park stuff as well. So obviously after the pandemic, are we then back into the full swing of trying to then build back on your early success of moving into that wedding space that we talked about in the first episode?
Yeah.
At what point did you split away from supporting the band and then moving into I'm doing it on my own here? So got to take 2 steps back. I'm going to try and talk really quickly, guys, because I know time, and even the listeners. If you don't know already, you're going to find out because I talk a lot and I love talking. But anyway, listen, we can turn this into part 3 if it needs to. There's no problem with that.
But so just before lockdown, doing the wedding stuff, lockdown kicked in, pop-ups blew up. went hard on the pop-ups. Just want to say quickly as well for people that are listening, because I know these things will help me when I was years ago. You do not need a lot of followers to make good money online. When I started that pop-up business, guys, I'm going to tell you guys now, I was charging people, gyms, anyone who wanted it at the time. I used to call it the power hour. And a power hour, I'll come and deliver a power hour. And at the time, it was 100 quid. It was 100 quid a set. And then there was a point I was like, when I started, they started getting more and more. I'm like, I won't do any more than 2 hours as a minimum. 2 hours was a minimum, and it would include, travel if there was travel expenses. But that was what the rate was. And I remember there was one point during lockdown, I was earning on average between 15 and 2,200 every month from pop-ups, birthdays. Anything happened in the park. Once people saw it once, it was done. People shared it. There was no, it's my birthday. What am I doing? Oh, well, I'm in, what's that thing called again? Furlough. Yeah, I'm furloughed. Yeah. So I'm kind of getting paid 70%. Ain't really got much going on. I've just seen a DJ in the park. The messages, can you DJ Mo? And it was every day. I was doing parties on Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday afternoon, Saturday. Yeah. And they will book me for, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. I'm earning like 400, 500, 600, 700 quid at some of these events. I did one, yeah. This was for, which I didn't know until I turned up at the event. People Just Do Nothing. Have you seen that show? People Just Do Nothing. It's on BBC. It's on BBC Player. You must have. And it's his DJs and MCs, and they have a pirate radio, Corrupt FM.
Oh, yes.
So the main guy in Corrupt FM, I did his missus' birthday in a East London park. I didn't know it was her until I got there. Even when I got there, I still didn't know it was her. It was only one point I'm DJing and I see Jabadi G. I said, what's going on? I said, what's going on here?
The whole crew.
And then I see all of them. They're all there. And I'm like, no way. And the girl that booked me, I called her over and she goes, yeah, the girl's birthday you're doing, that's his missus. I said, shut the front door. And no one thought to tell me now. No one thought to tell me. But anyway.
I nearly got the censor button ready then. I was waiting to press that. But go on.
No. I'm good with PC. I can keep it. I can keep it clean. But yeah, with that party there, that was a good earner. But what even made it better is that at the end, I was like, okay, it's time to go. And it was Jabadi G. Jabadi said, nah. You're not going nowhere, bro. I said, what do you mean? He goes, nah. We're having a good time, fam. This needs to keep going. And I said, bruv, my car's in the park and they're going to close the park at a certain time. And it's long. I don't live here. I live in Surrey. It's long. He said, name your price. I said, what? He said, name your price. I said, what, to stay? He goes, yeah, name your price, bruv. So I named my price. I got paid very nice that night, boy, for that extra.
Get in there.
He was like, just give me your email. I'll PayPal that over to you. You get me? I said, no way. He goes, yeah, give him the email, boy. When I saw that sound, I saw the numbers. Yo, we're in. And we carried on rocking. Carried on rocking. But anyway, just to cut long story short, I'm going to keep saying this. Sorry, guys. But you don't need a lot of followers to earn. When there was a point I was telling the missus, I'm on, anything from, 1,500 would be a quiet month. And I'm like, and then a good month could be anything, 2.5, sometimes 3K. All cash in hand, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, it was fantastic. It was fantastic at the time. So that's just anyone who's ever doing anything, man. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot to make, to replace your income, which is something that we're going to probably talk about in episode 4 of this stuff, because this is episode 2 of the 247 on the Junction. But yeah, man, you don't need,
Let's accelerate forward a little bit. Talk to, because obviously you've done the club thing, you've done the promoting thing, you've now gone into this pop-up world. I want to talk about the weddings.
The weddings. So
it's a space that you mentioned last time. It was like, I do not want to go into this space. Like you were frowned upon it from the background that you came from, but then you found yourself in that space. When did you break yourself away from, what pushed you into that space from the band selection point of view, from when you moved away from the band point of view to you being on your own doing weddings under your name?
Gotcha. So one thing I got to quickly mention as well is that I had a son during lockdown, 2020 July, had my firstborn. So That's what changed. If I didn't, pop-up would be a different thing now, and I don't think I'd be in weddings.
Really?
Yes. 100%.
What do you
me
mean
and my missus, the reason why is because at the time, me and my missus, it was just me and my missus. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? She was coming out with me. She was filming me. We're going places, shelling places.
She's been supporting you for the entire thing.
Bruv.
Yeah, I mean, hats off. And you, bruv, what's her name? We didn't even mention that last time.
Big shout out to Lucy. That's my missus.
Right. So yeah. Lucy has supported you through all of that real hard times. So tell me, so the fact that you've got a new baby, if you hadn't, where did you see the pop-up business going?
Well, it was just growing and growing. Like I told you, the numbers we was pulling in, and the Instagram was just going off like this. Come here, do this, do that. You know, you're being in. When the lockdown started to loosen up, radio stations were calling me and be like, you know, we need to interview you with this thing you're doing, and like a lot of that stuff started happening. And then baby came. Once baby came, if I was going out, it would be very difficult for me to film content now, because my missus used to film the content. If I was going out, it would be difficult. And then obviously having a baby, and I want to be with the baby. So then I started focusing on that. And then going out to do pop-ups wasn't as easy as it was to just get up, load the car and fly.
Finding it a little bit more harder. Like,
much harder.
It became more hard work.
Much more. Yeah. And then you got a baby, and then I'm leaving the baby, and I'm going out on the street. And some of the things I'll do would earn, and some of the things wouldn't. Some of the things would be like, okay, I'm being paid to do this. And sometimes I'm like, nah, man, I need to keep the essence of pop-up alive. And it wasn't about money. It was about just going out there, and it was, pop-up had to be spontaneous. I remember there was a point I started a little group and sending emails to people, but I was like, nah. When it started to be like, you know, I'm there, then I'm creating parties, and I was like, that's not what I'm doing. I want it to be, if you see me, you see me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not telling you where I am. You can only find out on my story when I'm there. You're not, it's not an invite, because there was a point that started happening. I'm sending out emails, and I'm getting in. There's all these people, and I'm like, this is not what it's about. It's about the specialness of seeing 247 Pop. I don't know where, but I saw him. I got to see him. Like film him. Like, yeah. And I might never see him again. I'll be in different places. But yeah, when the baby came, that changed a lot. Then the work, obviously the lockdown lifted, weddings went bananas. You know, like you guys remember when I opened, there was a wedding almost every day. Yeah. Every day. So then now I'm like, okay, I'm back with these guys doing the DJ with the band. And then there came a point where, like, I was doing one event and the garage set went mad. And I was like, I didn't know that wedding DJs could have a night like this. It was a proper garage night, proper sick one. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I want to do more of this. I don't want to. At the time, I never met clients. I just used to go up there, rock up, and just play tunes and fill in for them, and come on there when they're off, go fill in, come on. There wasn't enough. Like I was like, I can offer more. I know I can offer more. I'm from the events world, so if I spoke to these people, I would find my tribe. And started going off on my own. Started taking a couple wedding bookings, doing them fully now. Speaking to the clients, that was a massive change for me, because I never spoke to people, but now I'm sitting there meeting with them, finding their vibe, finding their stuff, giving them tips, saying about my music knowledge. This is what I think would work, and this is what I think we should do, this and do that and do that. And then I'm seeing that these events are going really well, and I'm enjoying them like I didn't think I would. Coming as a wedding DJ, I've been to weddings in the past myself, and I'm like, I don't want to be him. I don't want to be that guy. I could never, like that. No, but that's more so of the stuff like I preach about. We don't have to be, but I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know. I kind of felt like wedding DJs are this type of DJ, and if you want to be a wedding DJ, that's what you're gonna do. And when I came, I was like, nah, you don't have to be that guy. You don't have to. Yes, you can mix. Yes, you can do mashups. Yes, you can do wheel-ups. Yes, you can have your air horn. I love my air horn. Anyone that's I'm telling you, man, anyone that's booked me, they can't tell. If you say air horn, they'll be like, yeah, I do the air horn thing. Yeah, I do it. And that's it. When I heard that, I was like, yes, I feel like I'm in the house.
Tonight. I've got the air horns in tonight.
Air horns in. But yeah, that's when I fully transitioned, and I had to kind of let go of the pop-up stuff. I didn't want to, because it was so unique. It was so unique. And it was growing at a rate where I was like, wow, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my little invention-y thing. And then I had to put brakes on it because the wedding stuff started to blow up. The child was there, and just going out at random wasn't really working. It had to be guaranteed. And that's when I transitioned from pop-up into 247, the wedding.
So how many years now have you been focusing purely on the wedding industry?
So I'll say I registered my company, because I'll say that's for me properly when would have been 2 years ago last year. So 2022, say November. 2022 November is where I registered the company. I was doing a couple of gigs before that, but then I said, nah, this is proper. I can do this. I can see longevity in this. Let me register the company. And that's how long I've been doing, like, fully by myself, registered everything under the books, business, this, accounts, count earn, all that boring stuff.
Yeah.
So solid 2 years, and I haven't looked back since at all.
And the fact that you haven't looked back, I'm going to touch on the fact that this year you were nominated for Wedding DJ for the Southeast of England.
Yes.
How did that feel to get that nomination, man?
So, to be honest with you, once again, transparency always with 247, sure. Never tell no lies. You don't get nominated. You have to pay to enter. So when it comes to the Wedding Industry Awards, you have to go online, go onto their website, pay your subscription, submit your details, all that sort of stuff. And so you pay. So you're not actually nominated. But what happens is that towards the time of the awards, they start to pick out finalists. So I was a finalist out of about 35 DJs in our area. I was whittled down to I think it was 8 or 6 or something like that, 6 finalist DJs. So I was like, oh wow, finalist. Okay,
top 6 in the Southeast.
Yeah, Southeast. Okay, in my area. Okay, this is good. And even at the time, everyone that I'm looking at, like, not like competition, but the other guys that are entering in, everyone's got years on me. So I'm like, oh man, like, this guy's been in it for 8 years, 11 years. I'm like, oh, I'm feel like a bit of a baby here, but it is what it is. I believe in the products that I'm selling and the service that I provide.
You are the product.
100%. So I was like, yeah, let's enter it. So it was great to get that to get recognized by a brand of that stature in the wedding industry. Do you know what I mean? It was really good, really exciting.
A good experience?
Yes. Okay, once again, transparency. I didn't win. I thought I was going to. I was looking at some of the others. I was like, yeah, I think I should be all right here. And then sitting in the day, got my suit. You're gonna see it on the artwork of this episode. Got my red suede suit, and I said, "Yeah, man, I'm ready." Red velvet suit. I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is gonna be." Everyone's like, on my social, like, "Yeah, you're gonna take the win. You're gonna take the win." I'm like, "Yeah, I think this should be a good one," and I didn't get it. And I remember for the first 24 hours, I was gutted. That's the right word, gutted. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not like as good as I think I am. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I'm not that great. But upon reflection, this is like 48 hours after, I feel not winning was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. Because I can see my drive for 2025 is insane. Like, the things that I'm working on, the things that I'm doing towards my business. Mm-hmm. If I won, I wouldn't make the changes that I'm making now within my business. I would have stayed as I was, because I'm like, I've got it. I'm the winner. I'm the best. I don't need anything. But I think sometimes that wake up, that realization to be like, you are good at what you do, but there's some things that someone who's got 8 years on you, 10 years on you, they're doing a few things maybe where you can learn from that person. Do you know what I mean? You're 2 years in and you've learned what you've done and you're doing great. No one's saying that you're not worth what you do and everything. You're amazing, but there might be a few things where you can learn from others from. Do you know what I mean? And I think just that opening your mind and thinking to yourself, okay, what is it I need to learn? Just that question alone. What do I need to learn? What can I learn? What can asking the questions, the networking, the things of that nature, and congratulating the winners. I was like, do you know what? There's something that you guys are doing that I'm not. There's something that you guys have done that's made you guys take the win over me, or for whatever reasons. And my job is to find out what those things are and also improve, and me to look at my business and say, okay, how can I improve it? Instead of, if I want it, I wouldn't change nothing. I wouldn't change my website. I wouldn't change my this. I wouldn't change anything, my approach. I'll just keep rolling. But I think the fact that I didn't win that was actually a positive.
It's a really good summing up of it, and you talk about the business side of things and looking at it, and not going, yeah, this is in the bag, I've got this, and then the fact that yes, it hasn't been as successful as you had imagined it would be in your mind, but that drive has then made you refocus on certain areas of your business that you need to potentially tweak, to get yourself over the line. Now, we've get loads of messages on the show, but in particular, one message this week we had from WA Entertainment up north. He said, look, I'm taking loads away from this podcast because of how people talk about their business and the fact that they're looking at certain areas and looking at different pieces, and it's helped him streamline and look at certain aspects of what he's doing because of the conversations we have. So to hear you say that, even when you look at your socials, you look at your website, you look at you as an individual, everyone thinks, this man,
he's got it. He's
this
doing
man's
it
on top of the mountain. He's there. Unfortunately, this awards, the wedding industry awards, have said no. Well, you're not there yet.
No, and I honestly say losing was the best thing that could have happened. 100%, 100%. You go for something, you think you've got it in the bag, you don't get it, and they have like a winner, and they have a highly commended, like a sort of like a second place type thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that, and I thought to myself, oh snap, I didn't get anything. I was like, oh, okay. But then, like I said, for me because I think the front end of my business is so what people see, everything you see is real. There's no faking me. There's none of that. It is 100% what it is. Like, if you see I'm busy, yes, I'm busy. That the bookings are it's good. It's going well. Like the business numbers wise, everything's doing this on all of my little charts that I have. So to hear that is made it so instead of me doing this year, I'm gonna be doing this, which changes the scale of things. And like I said, I'll be looking at areas in my business that are boring, the boring parts of the company that I don't like to do. Whether it's the admin, whether it's the SEO, whether it's the loads of those little bits and bobs that big companies have marketing departments and researchers and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I haven't got these things, but I still own a business and I can implement some of these things to help me 10x the business as it still stands. No, man, I think not getting it was probably the best thing. I'm going to enter again this year. That was
going to be my next question. Yeah. Like, are you going to put yourself back into that position?
Yeah, 100%. I'm definitely going to go again this year. And if I don't get it again this year, it won't knock me for 6. No. I'm going to definitely go again this year, and hopefully I get the result that I want, and it should reflect on the work that I've done in the 12 months. So last year I didn't get it, but this year my business, whoa, do you know what I mean? This is bulletproof, airtight. This is what it needs to be.
There's one thing, because we are getting very close, and there's probably still loads more to talk about. There's one thing I want to talk about towards the end of this interview, really, and that's around pricing. Now, you are really passionate about this, and I am massively on the same page. You are a massive advocate that DJs across the entire industry are underselling themselves.
100%.
So talk to me about your whole thoughts on all of the pricing that go, because the reason I say this, pricing, and we've got people from all over the country as well as all over the world listening to this podcast, but pricing, because we're global, John.
I was going to say, John, say it. I was going to say, John, give it to them.
To be fair, I was waiting for the button push.
Okay.
Oh.
Global.
There you go. See, we got a button for everything now. But the reason I say that is because pricing varies around the country.
Yes.
So, but in a nutshell, in the sense of the whole UK side of things, talk to me about pricing and your whole viewpoint on it.
So I think when it comes to pricing, once again, when I first came in, you start to say to yourself, what can I charge? Anyone starting a business, you want to be a plumber, you want to be whoever you want to be a saxophone player, you want to be a cake maker, you want to be a bar. Doesn't matter who you are, what you want to do. You say to yourself, what's going on here? And you start looking out to see what others are doing naturally. And then what starts to happen is that you start to, let's say you go out in the field, you say, what's going on in the wedding DJ world? And then you come across someone who's charging $650. You're like, okay, there's another guy charging $350. You're like, okay, there's another one charging $475. Okay, there's another one charging $800. Okay, so now you've got this scale. The lowest that you heard was $350, and then the highest that you heard was $800. And your general person will be like, I'm going to sit somewhere in the middle because I'm new. And I get that. Because that's naturally what people would do. But I believe what's happened is that that's happened to some people, and they've kind of stayed in that remit, or they've incremented way too slow from what it is they're doing. I understand that the geography plays a part in that, and I know there's someone probably sitting there thinking, I would love to earn more, but I can't because of my area. And my thing to always say to that person saying that is, you drive. Your local area, if it's an area that doesn't offer you the places that you want or the charges that you want, find the area that does and venture there. Sometimes it can just be the space of an hour and a half, maybe a 2-hour drive that might significantly change what you could charge. In that case, I would say you can market in that area. You can drive to that area. You can say on your Instagram, that's the area that I supply. You can do these things. And and that's more of what I want to do, is open minds. If there's the guy that's like, look, I'm happy with what I charge, I want to charge 50 quid for a wedding, and that's what I want to do, no problem. That is no problem. And there'll be some people that's like, that's competition. And I'm like, nope, that's the wrong way to think of it. Someone who's charging 50 quid, and if you're charging, let's say 1,000 quid, you're not competition. You're in two different markets.
Do you think also as well with the pricing? I know we just touched on the areas we live in, but as well for you, I know too, for you have a lot of expenditure. You have a lot of outgoing and overhead. Yes. I don't have as many as you, but I've got a lock up as well. So I need to kind of factor in, this expense as well into it. And if I'm going out charging £50 for a party,
you're not going to make them.
I'm not going to make it. I'm going to make a loss.
You're going to make a loss. And I think there's some DJs, and I once again, it goes back to when I first came into when I first came into the game, when I saw DJs, and if I look at what someone's offering, and if someone told me we've paid him $250 for tonight, or we've paid him, 140 quid for tonight, it makes all the sense. Now I'm like, oh, okay, he's got no energy. He doesn't want to be here. Like, he's probably doesn't enjoy it. And like you're saying, John, he could be at a loss. So yeah, nobody wants to do that. Another thing as well is that a DJ's job isn't easy. It's not easy. And some people, because we can do it and we do it, and sometimes, we think there's other people that look at our job and say, I could never do that. The same way we look at someone else's job and say, I could never do that. But if you listen to the person that says, I could never do that, ask them why, and you will start to hear where your value is and where you might be missing a trick. We're dealing with drunk people, where we're having to hold our tongues, we're having to set up, travel, read rooms, read crowds. People sometimes want us to do Disney, they want us to do magic and make an introverted crowd extroverted. This is very difficult. We're having to do. That's why if you like some of the content I put out, the Christmas content, that video that I put out where the girls are singing on the microphone, some people hate it, some people love it, but there's some people that's like, this is not really for me, but I'm a DJ and this is some of the things that I need to do. It doesn't necessarily mean we like every single part of it. So then there should be a price that comes attached to that. And there's other people in other professions that charge more than some DJs do, that maybe some others might say isn't that much. A popular one I like to use is saxophone players. Saxophonists are very, very popular in the wedding industry, and the cheapest saxophonist I think I've ever heard of was $350. It was the cheapest saxophonist I've heard of, and they do 2 45-minute sets. Now, I'm not knocking any saxophonists. I love you guys, and I work with you guys all day, but in my mind, you have a DJ and you have a saxophonist, and a saxophonist is an extra and a DJ is a fundamental. If you're looking at, I like this one. You guys are gonna like this. The big shout out to my listeners. You're gonna love this one. Nando's, yeah. Look at Nando's, yeah. You would never pay the amount you pay for the coleslaw as you would for the chicken. It's a great metaphor. And I know people are, yes. The saxophonist, once again, no disrespect to them. They're talented. They've learned, they've done their thing. But they are coleslaws in the world of DJ because they're an extra. They are amazing. Unless you're going to get them to play during walking down your aisle and those sort of things, that's a different kettle of fish. But when they're playing in the evening with the DJ, when I start hearing that some saxophonists are getting paid more than the DJ, mathematically that doesn't make sense to my head, because I'm like, you're the main. So how can you be less than the saxophonist? And then that's where my mind goes. It just comes down to how you think of yourself or what you believe. And I'm trying to change minds that no, with this world, as DJs, we actually own this industry. It's not governed by the government or anybody else, and we say what prices we charge. And the reasons that DJs are charging the prices that they do, because when we first come into the game, maybe I could be wrong, but when we first come into the game, we're like, okay, what can I charge? And we go and hear what the market says from what other DJs are charging, and then sometimes you can stay in that remit. I think 2025, if we look at prices from 2016 or 2013 for your average DJ, and we look at prices now, 2025, 2024 for your average DJ, I guarantee you there's not a massive jump in numbers. And if that's the case, that's down to DJs now. That's got nothing to do with anybody else, in my opinion.
So many times I hear people say, charge and know your worth.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, a lot of that is correct, but there are parts of it where you've got, new DJs coming in. They look up to the old DJs, go, oh, he's charging £1,000 and I think I am better than him or I am equal to him, so I'm going to charge £1,000 as well. Yeah. Then they don't get the booking. Yeah. And then I think that in my opinion, I think knowing your worth is one thing, being greedy is another. Mm-hmm. And I think that some of these DJs think that, it's no disrespect to anyone, but I think people are possibly pricing themselves out of the market because they're giving it, well, I'm worth this, but in actual fact, they only think they're worth that. They're not actually worth that because they haven't got the experience behind them.
No, that works perfect sense, John. And I think like the person that decides the value of your service is the person who's booking you. That's the person who decides whether you're worth it or not. So if someone says, like this guy that you're talking about, he's a metaphorical guy, I'm guessing, but if we think about this new DJ, oh, I'm better than this guy and I can charge £1,000. If your client who's booking you believes that you're worth that price and someone books you for that price, that can be your new rate. If you can sell that service consistently for that price, that is your price. And some might be like, he's only been DJing for 6 months. If he's securing clients again and again and again and again for £1,000, he's worth £1,000. This is your game. We are the players. We're not governed. If he thinks he can charge that and he's getting that, that's what he's getting and that's what he can charge. And if that's what he thinks he's worth and that's what he's getting, then yeah. But then, like you said, John, there will be those guys that be like, I'm worth this much. They'll put that out and they might not get booked for that. Then that's like, well, you might believe it, but the market determines if you are worth it or not.
I think you've also got to look at it from a different viewpoint in the sense of, know your worth. Okay, first and foremost. But the equipment that we purchase is not cheap.
Nope.
And you've got to weigh in all of these factors into it. And you've got to go. Actually, I've paid £3,000 for some speakers.
Mm-hmm.
I've paid £600 for some lights. Whatever stands, booths, subscriptions for your music.
Yep.
All of these elements. The laptops aren't cheap. If you do it that way, all of these elements that you need to factor in to your pricing. And if we don't do that, and we don't actually have the confidence to go, actually, I'm standing here for 6-7 hours, could be, realistically 5 at a short, and then you got load in, load out. You're ultimately doing a 7-hour day. To do it for 250 quid, 300 quid is mind blowing, and you need to have the confidence to go. All this equipment, all of my time, me reading the crowd, me working, with these people.
Yep.
All of that element, you've got to really price yourself correctly.
You have to. And then I'm already thinking about the pushback, because I know there's someone listening right now that's not liking what we're saying. And with that person, once again, I'll go back to the whole thing of like, whatever it is that they're pushing against. Like you're saying, John, there is those people that don't have hardly any outgoings. They bought their equipment through finance and now it's all paid off, and they don't have a lockup, and they've got a garage and their car can fit everything in, and so then monthly running costs for their business, if nothing comes in, there's no, they're not using a CRM or Studio Ninja or anything like that, so that their business doesn't cost them that much. They don't have any subscriptions. They just use the music that they have. If they take a request, if I've got it, I haven't, and there'll be some of those people that do that. And then there's going to be the other conversation of the people that's like, oh, but those people are undercutting us and they're undercutting us. I'm like, if we keep thinking like that, there's no win. We need to think in the mindset where there's a win. People can charge whatever they like. I just want for the people that want to charge more to know that they can charge more and think about ways of what they can do to maybe charge more. Like, for instance, the first one I would say is, if your geography is a problem, most of us, 99.9, there's that 0.00.1 of people that don't drive still. I don't know who they are, but if you're mobile DJ and you're not mobile, that doesn't make sense. But anyway, but yeah, if travel where you're located is a problem, an hour or 2 hour drive, you can actually, if you think about it, there might be someone who's out every weekend and they're charging, let's just say they're charging $250, just to make it simple. I don't like $250 DJs. If you're charging $250 for any gig, I don't think that's a good thing, but each to their own. Let's talk about the guy charging $250. He plays out every Saturday, does weddings, birthdays, whatever, charges $250 a time. He's making $1,000 a month. I would suggest to him to do 2 hours drive further out of your area and do 2 gigs a month instead of 4, and charge double. So he's charging £500. He's traveling to an area that's happy to pay £500, and he's doing half the work for the same amount of money. I guarantee you, his missus will be on par with him going out every Saturday to now starting at earning $1,000 a month, $250. Tonight he's earning $2,000 a month for, let's just say he's added 8 hours, 16 hours to his drive a month to double his income. 100%. I'm trying to reach out to the guys that, because once again, like someone like myself who didn't believe that I could be fully self-employed. I don't have another job. I don't do like this is my thing. I can spend more time with my family. I can invest money into better bits of equipment. I can do things that make me really happy and love what I do, and it gives me extra freedom while servicing fantastic clients and putting on amazing events and even making friends with these clients. This is amazing. This is and I'm turning bookings down, and I've been here for 2 years. Now, some people might be like, oh, you're lucky. I will say, getting to, I'm not going to say where I am, but I think what's helped me to get here in 2 years is my past experience and fails on multiple different businesses, plus being in a DJ, like as a DJ in multiple spaces, as a promoter, as an event organizer, as a club, someone who runs promoting nights, and someone who's getting booked by other people, and all that sort of stuff. All that knowledge I fly into what I do now, which I think is 10x kind of what I do, and my mindset on stuff. And I don't think there should be any ceiling as to what we could charge. What we do is amazing. I don't know about used to, but when we are getting some of your inquiries and stuff, if you ever ask them, like, what's an important part of the day for you, what I love, that's a question that I ask in some of my consultations, and I suggest if you don't answer that question, take that as a tip, guys, because Groove Junction is always giving those goodies. But yeah, ask them what's the most important part of the day for them. If they say the evening is the most important part of the day, then you're in a good space, because it means that they value what is that you're going to do. If it's not that important and they're like, oh no, man, I'm all about the flowers, or oh my God, I can't wait to hear the saxophone guy, then yeah, you're going to get paid $250 and the sax is getting $650. Sorry, guys. Because the market, they decide. And but if they say the evening is important for them, that shows you that you are valued, and this person wants you to deliver something that they believe you can do, and your price tag can change just based off what you say, or changing your prices. But once again, the market determines what it is your value. My thing is just show your value in the best way you can, and then those clients should look at that, see what it is that you're offering, and be like, I definitely want that for my special day, for my birthday, for whatever it is, and you should charge, or you can charge accordingly. You don't have to, especially if you're struggling as a mobile DJ as well. That's out of choice. That's not because the market says, that's because you say. So take some ownership as well.
Great advice. Listen, we've come massively to the end of this podcast, and there's still plenty of conversations on my list. Plenty more. We need to. So I'm going to put it out there now. We're coming back for part 3. Is that all right? We're doing part 3 of this because we've got to, because there's still so many good nuggets of information that have come from the first episode, this episode, and many, many more.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to come back to for?
Oh, 100%, man. I've got so much to share with the listeners. If they're listening and they want to hear, I've got, as you lot can hear already, I can talk for.
They're in.
Yeah.
You can talk 247, couldn't you?
247, and the stories are just like, there's so much different things, and I'd like to share. So yeah.
Thanks for joining us again. Sure. Right, Jon, have a great week, my man.
Pal, and you, mate.
Pleasure. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do so you get that notification and you get the nice little ping on your phone or wherever that the new episode is available. But as always, new episodes land every Friday at 10 a.m. sharp. So keep listening, keep subscribing, keep following us, keep liking us. We are the Groove Junction. See you next week, Jon.
See you later, buddy.